right, guys, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. We're just boiling down to about the last 20 minutes of this show today. Asanteni sana, and a special shout out to those of you who've been with me all the way from 8 a.m. this morning. Nyinyi ni watu, nyinyi ni watu wangu, nawapenda sana. But we're going to continue with our discussions right now. And welcome back, Sharon Kate Nganga.
Thank you for having me.
An economist and statistician and TV presenter as well. And she's going to be helping us unpack this thing about grabbing opportunities, especially as a young person, because you yourself are quite accomplished, we have to say. You're working right now, you're a TV presenter, you're just about to finish school, you've done all sorts of things, and you've not even finished school, right? So there's a lot to learn from her as far as grabbing hold of those opportunities even before you've finished, because you certainly are not like wacha nimalize shule kwanza and then we start, right? And so that's what we're going to be talking about. Before we get back into that discussion, let me give some more shout outs to KCPE candidates. Mazee mmejitokeza na hizi success wishes. But hey Joyce, Isaac from Juja, help me wish my former schools Suguroi Primary and Koilel Secondary success. Good morning, guys. I'd like to wish my brother Rashid success. I guess that's Rashid from Nax. Hey Joyce, niko live in Kirinyaga. Woi, napenda hiyo success to all students in KMT. Help wish my friends success in their KCPE exams. That's Caleb, Steve, Regis, Evelia, Sam, Jason, and all pupils in Greenwoods Academy and Mount St. Mary's success. Lynn from Londiani says, I wish my sister Nelly Cherono success in her Class 8 exams at Barotion Primary School. And let me read one more here. I wish my beloved cousins from Lokori Mixed in Turkana success. Asanteni sana for all of that. Well, I'll try and get to some more of them before we wrap up the show. But for now, we want to talk about grabbing opportunities. How many times have you guys heard of that? That, you know, vitu vinakuja zikienda, right? So what does that really mean to be able to grab hold of an opportunity? And more so, how do you know if an opportunity is before you? Life itself is a great opportunity, and there's all sorts of different things, activities, areas of engagement that one could get involved with. But are you even aware of all these different things that could be before you? It's our responsibility to actually be able to recognize them as well, so that we can grab hold and act on them. And so, Sharon, just looking at your own journey and reflecting on your own experiences, how would you say that you've been an opportunist, like being able to grab opportunities as they've come to you?
I definitely say yes. I'm someone who believes that if you have an idea, go for it. But I also believe that it's been a habit that I've had to form over the past couple of years. You just don't start off with, oh, I see something, let me just run on this side. Like we said earlier on, sometimes especially as a young woman, it takes a while for you to actually believe in yourself and say, oh, I think I can actually be good at this. So it's something it's a habit I've had to form over the past couple of years.
And sometimes this grabbing the opportunity has sort of had a negative connotation attached to it, right? Because niao matendapreneur wanarukia tu kila kitu, you know what I mean? Like
serial entrepreneurs.
Serial this, serial that. Sometimes it's used to talk about people who maybe come off as a bit abrasive and aggressive with just, they'll do whatever it takes, that the end justifies the means, which in many ways, you know, is not a good thing. How does one sort of practice this idea of being able to be aware of what is in front of someone without ending up, you know, under that stereotype, and practice, or at least living out that stereotype?
The thing about serial entrepreneurs, I was just asking myself in my head, am I a serial entrepreneur? But I definitely say it's a journey with everyone. I think you're not the same person you were a few weeks ago. You're not the same person you were a few months ago. We're all learning what is good for us, what we love, what works for us. So sometimes someone might get it the first round, like, oh, great idea, works out for you. But someone else might take 10 steps, 20 steps. So I don't really believe that it's sometimes the end doesn't justify the means, but for some people I believe that you just have to try to find who you are and what you love and what works for you. Yes, but that doesn't mean that now you're doing like 50 things at the same time, because also you have to be aware of how much time you're putting into something, the resources that are going into whatever you're working on. There's so many factors to actually consider before grabbing an opportunity. So it's really a personal journey, and you have to constantly ask yourself, who am I? What am I doing? What do I stand for? Does this work for me? Am I happy? Do I need to move on? And these are questions you have to constantly ask yourself, so that you know that, oh, like this might actually work out for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And, speaking of that, I am a firm believer that there are many good opportunities, but not every opportunity is the right one. And I'm very careful about that. And so there are things that have seemed really glossy and shiny and amazing that I've said no to, just because I feel, you know what, it is not the right opportunity. It's great, but it's not the right opportunity.
Yeah.
How do you figure that out for yourself?
I think if it just doesn't sit right with you, like same thing with me. I feel like there's some things that just generally don't work for me. Like I'm great at talking about economics, finance, mental health, but there's some topics I'd shy off from, because I'm like I like the idea of it, but am I equipped to work on it? So you really just have to, what excites you, what makes your soul beam, what makes you happy. Also just listening to the people around you. Like sometimes you might have a talent and not know about it, but everyone is like, oh my gosh, do you know you actually are good at talking? Do you know you dress really well? You're really good at social media or sharing information or training others. So if you are having difficulty listening to your own voice, sometimes it's good to listen to the outside forces around you, because then they'll point you in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah.
And even just and I guess related to that is, if you feel that this just goes against your values, against your principles.
Exactly.
If it's going to put you in a questionable position as far as your character or your integrity, it doesn't matter how good the opportunity is. You need to,
and I keep because I just put up a YouTube video and everyone was surprised that I actually don't take alcohol. And I'm like, that's one thing, like you said, standing true to your values. Like I wouldn't be able to advertise a certain product if I don't actually partake in it. So just being very aware of your habits, what you're doing, and if people actually come up to you and say, hey Sharon, we don't think this aligns with your brand, then you actually have to listen to it and know that, oh, so I need to stay away from this.
Sure, absolutely. In terms of grabbing these opportunities, where do you think young people sit? We've been talking a lot about youth and unemployment and the economy in this country, and whether young people can actually rise up to the opportunities within the country. Where would you say, as a young person yourself, young people fit, if they can, in the economic, social, political growth of this country, and the opportunities? Are there opportunities there? Do you feel like, as a young woman, are there opportunities for you to engage in those spaces?
I'm a huge believer in the fact that if you feel like there isn't a space for you, create it for yourself. And the beauty about being a millennial in this current age is that there's so many opportunities, from multimedia to creating solutions that help our communities and help the world generally. So I feel like the youth, we are in such a budding stage, especially as a country. Opportunities are growing. People are more open to listening to young people. There's so many great ideas coming from young people. The thing is you just have to sit down and figure out, what do I stand for? What do I want to speak about? What do I want to discuss? What do I want to share with the world? And then find creative ways to get resources around that, to get people to support you, because I feel like there's so many opportunities. You just have to figure it out and figure yourself out and constantly ask yourself those questions to get to the answer.
And the truth is, though, that a lot of us may be able to see those opportunities where you can do something, but then you are worried because of your age or your gender or the fact that you don't have 15 years experience like is often called for. What would be your encouragement to fellow young people as far as stepping up and rising up to the plate, especially where you feel, but I don't meet the qualifications, but you know deep down, I can do this job and I can do it well. What would be your guidance on that when someone just feels completely unprepared and unexperienced?
I was thinking about a quote by Richard Branson. If an opportunity comes before you and you don't know how to do it, just learn on the job. Especially in the particular atmosphere that we're in, I don't think a lot of people are really looking at what qualifies you. It's whether you can get the job done, because you might have it down on paper, but you can't execute it on the ground. You might say you're really young, but the person who's way older than you doesn't fit or doesn't have the vigor or the personality required for that particular job. And I'd also say, like, what has helped me is looking at people who are younger than me or who are my age or people who came before me and actually did it while I'm at this particular age. And my thought is, if they can do it, why not me? And also just getting mentors. I think mentorship has been such an important, has played such an important role in grooming me. Getting the right voices speaking to you and encouraging you. And also mentors who create opportunities for you to work in. So I'd say identify, I know there are people who feel like, oh, mentorship might not be for me, but it could also just be talking to someone who has experience in a certain field, or someone who has characteristics that, or a character that you look up to, and just forming your ideas around such people. Because sometimes if you put yourself in a negative space, that can only make you drown more in the inadequacies that you feel that you already have. So just having the right people, believing in yourself and going for it. Take a risk. I'm more scared of regret than failing. So try it, and if you fail, that's okay. Try something else. But you don't want to live with a constant fear of, oh, like, I would have actually done well. I wish I had. I could have done this. I could have been at this point in my life, but I didn't.
Irene Kendi, I like that you've brought up that, like, the spaces that you surround yourself with, and making sure that you're not in those negative spaces. Irene Kendi on Facebook says, the fact is opportunities are there, but we have this mentality that niya kina nani ama niya watu fulani, right? And so we almost dismiss ourselves from these opportunities because we imagine that they're for other people. The other thing that you've mentioned, though, is about mentorship, which a lot of young people are very concerned about nowadays. How did you go about getting and having mentors?
So the first, I'm a recipient of the Aklidada Foundation. So they gave me a scholarship, and aside from that, they also gave me mentors that were in line with the ideas I had or what I wanted to be in the future. So going back to surrounding yourself with people who listen to you, who want to groom you, who want to help you, because then they identified that first, Sharon really likes media. Second is that she really loves math and loves talking about finance and economics. So then they were like, let's try pair her up with someone who actually has both fields and see if that is something she'd actually want to pursue in her undergraduate. So then that's what they did. And then from that mentorship relationship, I did realize I really love media and I really want to pursue economics. But then my mentor also taught me how to identify people that can actually help me and groom me in any other field. She taught me about how to have a mentor-mentee relationship, how to groom yourself, how to create rapport with other people, how to socialize, how to network, and all these things. It doesn't happen overnight. I feel like people expect it to like spark and it will work out. It's a journey, like every other relationship. So I learned how to identify other people, and now it's, so when I get an interest, like let's say mental health, I'll probably Google it, who are the mental health advocates in Kenya, and I'll read their stories, and I'll try to figure out who resonates more with what I'm trying to do, or what project I'm doing, or if it's in media. I'll go on Instagram, check out who's popping now, why are they popping, what's their deal, and just trying to do your research into these people. And the power of social media, you'd be surprised how many people will actually DM you back once you
Sure.
say I need a mentor.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely. Sharon, thank you so much for being here and for joining us once again.
You're
My
welcome.
time is up, but before I go, let me just read out some final comments here. Shout outs, Priscilla watching from Thika wants us to wish her sister success. Francisca, you want us to wish your friends at Ngiriambu girls success. Mercy Cherop from Nyahururu wishing your brother success and all candidates of Sinendet Primary. Someone says here the show is fantastic. Thank you for that. Hey Joyce, I'm Agnes from South B. I want to wish all Makweni girls students success. These are so many. I probably will not be able to get through all of them. Otherwise, I might be here until 11 or 12. But thank you to all of you who have sent in your feedback from the coast, from Western, Turkana, people here from Central, all across Nairobi, Muranga. I do appreciate you guys. Asanteni sana. And thank you to all of my guests here today as well. Now, before I go, let me remind you that Aladdin has a 90% discount for you when you shop of their clothing or groceries online. And as our audience here on Switch TV, you get yourself a extra 200 bob off when you use the discount code SWH200. Okay, and there's also a deal where if you spend 1,000 shillings and above, you can get any product that will be labeled 1 bob, and that could even include a phone. And so please do get shopping on Aladdin, and your goods will be delivered to you within 48 hours of request. With that said, I'm gonna get ready to go for the day. Asanteni sana to all of you for your company once again. Let's do this again tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about relationships and so much more. Until then, God bless you and have a wonderful day. Ciao.